Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to the first lesson of a new unit on public and policy-related issues in Ethiopia. In our last lesson, we learned about the importance of natural resources. Today, we are going to learn about one of the most pressing public health concerns facing Ethiopia: the spread of HIV/AIDS. We will analyze the global prevalence of HIV/AIDS, reflect upon the disease's impact in Ethiopia, and learn about the benefits of joining the school's anti-HIV/AIDS club. This is a very important topic, students. Are you ready? Human immunodeficiency virus, known as HIV, is the virus that causes acquired immune deficiency syndrome, or AIDS. HIV destroys the natural ability of the human body to fight off infections such as tuberculosis, pneumonia, and influenza. A person who is infected by HIV may not show any symptoms for a long time. Sooner or later, though, the symptoms manifest into AIDS, and the resulting mortality rate is extremely high. The spread of HIV/AIDS has emerged as one of the most urgent problems facing the world's developing nations, spreading social and economic problems, as well as illness and death. No cure or vaccine has yet been developed, though research continues in dozens of countries. There are many ways in which a person might be infected with HIV/AIDS. The virus can enter the human body if there is a direct transmission of bodily fluids, such as blood. Students, here is a list of activities that people engage in. Which of these activities can lead to the transmission of HIV and which cannot? Take a few minutes to decide, and I will be right back.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. I'm sure this exercise was not too challenging for you. Let us review your answers together. HIV/AIDS can be transmitted through unsafe or unprotected sexual intercourse, sharing needles, and similar items. The transfusion of infected blood, breastfeeding, and by following improper procedures during the delivery of a baby. HIV/AIDS cannot be transmitted through shaking hands with an infected person, nor can AIDS be transmitted by swimming in the same pool, eating the same food, or sitting with an infected person. These facts are important to remember as we try to combat the spread of HIV/AIDS through Ethiopia. In 2008, about 2.7 million people worldwide became infected with HIV. There were also 2 million deaths due to AIDS, despite antiretroviral therapy, which has reduced AIDS-related deaths in recent years. About 50% of people who contract HIV do so before the age of 25. And AIDS is the most common cause of death among 20 to 24-year-olds. By the end of 2007, the global AIDS epidemic had orphaned more than 15 million children. These orphans, vulnerable to poverty and exploitation, are often forced to drop out of school in order to support themselves and their siblings. In the same year, 430,000 children aged 14 or younger became infected with HIV. More than 90% of newly infected children are babies born to women with HIV, who then acquire the virus during pregnancy, delivery, or their own mother's breast milk. Sub-Saharan Africa has been the region hardest hit by the global AIDS epidemic. 9 in 10 children born with AIDS are born in sub-Saharan Africa. And though it is home to about 10% of the world's population, it contains 2/3 of the world's AIDS victims. By the end of 2008, an estimated 22.4 million people were living with AIDS in the region of Africa, and 1.4 million people died from that disease in that year alone. The average time of survival after infection is about 10 years. The survival time can be greatly enhanced by antiretroviral medication, but the necessary drugs are not available to most people in Africa. Students, it is time for our second activity. Do you know someone who has been affected by HIV/AIDS? How do you think Ethiopia is affected by the disease? Form into small groups and share your experiences. I will be back in a few minutes.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. I hope that you learned something about HIV/AIDS by sharing your experiences with your classmates. The primary mode of HIV transmission in Ethiopia is sexual contact, followed by sharing needles and harmful indigenous practices. The 2010 report of the Federal HIV/AIDS Prevention and Control Office found that about 1.2 million Ethiopian adults have HIV or AIDS. The infection rate averages at 7.7% in cities and 0.9% in rural areas. Of the 1.2 million people who are infected, 90,311 are pregnant women, and 79,871 are children. The number of AIDS orphans is estimated to be 800,000, and the number of Ethiopian deaths due to AIDS in 2010 was 28,073. The HIV/AIDS epidemic is a clear danger to Ethiopians, and we must all work together to fight its spread. Perhaps you should join your school's anti-HIV/AIDS club to raise awareness of the disease. In the next lesson, we will learn about Ethiopia's environmental policies. Until then, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.